Uh, how is your meditation going?
Well, I mean, in the last week, it's been tough. I've been, only just got home this morning. So finding time in hotel rooms and, during busy days and on airplane flights, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But aside from that, what can I say? I mean, it's been a week of, uh, uh, of spending a lot of time with a lot of people, you know. So in the last week, I've had four presentations, four long presentations, important ones, with people that I've worked with, mainly on Zoom, but meeting in person, some for the first time, dinner dates, time with my dad, time with my godmother, time with Criminac. Um, it's been kind of a magic connection. I don't know how to explain it, but um, it feels, yeah, I'm able to have a deeper bond with people somehow. And it feels like that's grown out of the meditation. And when presenting and when talking, trying to figure out what to say, not being as nervous. Um, yeah, so it's been very nice.
Beautiful.
I, you
Yeah,
know, I Go ahead.
okay. There's when conversation seem to be taking place, uh, there's so much space there. There's so much space. What seems to be talking happening, or somebody who seems to be talking, may be allowed to be as he is or as she is. It's not. There's no judgment. You know, every expression is allowed to express in whichever way it may want to express. So there's space there for everything to appear or to come up, to appear and disappear. And in that way, all conversations become beautiful. They are beautiful because there is no sense of control that may arise just to try to block some certain expressions. But no, that shouldn't be. So everything becomes beautiful in that way because everything is allowed to be as it is without judgment. Because every expression appears in this and disappears in this spaciousness. It's not that there's somebody who's doing the different doors. There's just everything arising at once, appearing in this and disappear at once. Every conversation, every meeting, every uh, appearance appears in this and disappear in this. It doesn't come from some certain somebody or separate self. Any idea, any inspiration is just coming up from this spaciousness or what is. So everything is okay. Everything's beautiful.
I I had a very interesting meditation too on the way on the drive to on the drive from Chicago to Iowa. Um, so it's maybe a 5 hour drive, and it was raining or snowing the whole time, you know, and it was just around freezing, and I was very nervous about the driving. Um, but I started having this meditation inspired by your words, where I was concentrating on just not moving, even though my car is going 75 miles an hour down the freeway. I'm not moving, you know. By your perception, you're not moving, you know. And on some elemental sense, you're not moving either. And just concentrating that on that as a meditation as things pass was was a really profound meditation. Nice meditation.
Yeah. Nice.
Because when you,
Beautiful.
I mean, as things are moving, if you concentrate on what isn't moving, there's only one thing that's not moving, and that's your awareness. And that's what you are.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Very clear.
It's not moving. It's not, yeah. It's not moving. It's not saying anything. It's not doing anything. It's not thinking anything. It's just pure awareness. Just this. Doesn't have any intention. Doesn't have anything to say. It's not thinking. That's where it is seen that everything is arising from this spaciousness, awareness, and disappears into this. So nothing moves. Nothing moves. The movement may seem to happen in the imagination. There can be a movement in thought. If something says, "Oh, I'm moving," the sky is moving, that's just a thought. So I can say there's always that here-ness, here-ness. Even when it seems there's a movement that seems to be happening, but that here-ness is just they're right here. You've never moved. So if somebody says, "I cannot get it," because that's one, it may seem to be following a thought movement that seems to be getting somewhere, but actually there's no movement. Even what seems to be a thought movement is no movement because this isn't moving. It's just here. So that sense of here-ness is just this, it's just here. It's not going anywhere. Mhm. So here, there's no death. There's no birth here. Nothing ever happens here. It's just here-ness. And there's nobody in it. What seems to be somebody in it is an imagination appearing in it. And nobody's doing it. It's just what seems to be appearing. What seems to be the journey is just another appearance in it. So the one who seems to be getting somewhere, the one who seems to be uh, there, about to reach the goal, has never moved. It's just an appearance. It's just an appearance. That one has never moved at all. It's always here. There's just here-ness and nobody's here. Any noise may appear and disappear. Any sensation may appear and disappear. Any thought may appear and disappear. But this here-ness has never appeared. So it will never disappear. The body may disappear, but this will never disappear. Because the body appeared, so the body has to disappear. So you can call it life, God, spirits, wholeness, spaciousness, awareness.
Yeah, you're going in and out a little bit.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the rain.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that the rain?
Yeah, I think it's because of the rain. Because of the rain. How is it now?
It's okay. We'll make do. It's okay. I don't think your phone's going to be any better if it's the rain.
So there's no movement. There's no movement. Except as a thought. So a thought movement is just an imagination. It's not a real movement because there's no movement here. There's just this. So the one who's trying to know this, the one who's trying to get this, the one who's trying to find enlightenment is just a thought. It's just an appearance in this. So that's one will never find enlightenment. That's one will never get anything. That's one will never become one with this because it's just never there. There can be what seems to be a collapse or an illusion falling away, apparently. So as I always say, there's no one here. There's no one to know this. Even when it seems there's a question that seems to arise, but the questioner is the thought. So the questioner is imagined. So the questioner will never receive any answer because it's just never there. The answer that may seem to be received, it may, when it appears, when it seems to appear, the questioner will not be there to receive an answer.
I don't think you'd be very popular in Buddhist circles. You can't work to it. You can't work towards it. You're not going to make any progress. Forget it. It's not the way it works.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is put yourself in a place to notice and spend
Yeah.
time being aware to notice.
Yes.
I think about how I conceived of God at different times in my life. It's very, very different. When I was young, I had an imaginary friend. Have I told you the story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
So then it was like, okay, there was this sort of consciousness behind. That was my first sort of glimpse of it, you know. But then I think there was a very, very serious awareness as a really young child, you know, um, in the forests, by myself on my paper route of just in the snow. Have you ever been in the snow?
No.
Snow is just this, it's just heavy, heavy sense of awareness when the snow is just falling, you know, and respect for that. And then as a being that, there was guilt associated with as Catholic and Christian. But then introduction to the Tao was like a big change, of that. The Tao is, you're familiar with Taoism at all? Probably not.
No.
So Taoism is an ancient Chinese philosopher who's just really right on. I don't know. He wrote spiritual poetry um, outside the context of Christianity or Buddhism or anything. Um, it's just spiritual poetry, and it's not about a god. It's just about the sort of being behind. I don't know. Um, and uh, and that really sort of put me on the right path. But then just sort of thinking about, as I got into that was something I thought, right? Then there was, it was beautiful, but it was still, and I could sense it and got in touch with it a little bit, but then it was still something I thought and captured my mind. And then, with Buddhism and non-dual readings, still something I could try to capture and think about philosophically. It's difficult to let all that go, because it gets ingrained, like the guilt principle gets ingrained. And you can't fight it. So to sort of turn away. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's everything that may seem to be spoken, like maybe in the news, the media, people around, community. It's always being spoken to that separate self, which doesn't even exist. So when it is spoken against that separate self, which doesn't exist, when that imagination doesn't arise anymore of being a separate self, it's like it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what the news may say about you. It doesn't matter the adverts. They don't matter. Nothing matters because it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah. So it's seen as just a play.
Yeah. I think I have a copy of the Tao Te Ching right here. I just feel like I want to read you some. I guess I don't have it around here. I thought I did. Yeah, how strange though, you know? It's just you're just sort of left completely rudderless. I mean, the world must seem so absurd to you all the time, in a way.
Yeah, there's no world. It is just no. This dancing, this talking, going up and down. But it's not everything is seen as it's like everyone or everything is seen as just one and the same thing. So it doesn't really matter. This doesn't pinpoint and say, oh, that's one. Oh, that's the man that man wearing a blue jacket is going to the left. Oh, I see that's one going to the right. No, it's just everything like moving. No, it's just. Have you ever seen uh, water inside the pots boiling up?
Yeah,
See those bubbles.
yeah.
So it's like that. It's just one water and the bubbles. It's like it's like yeah, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. So the character is superficial. The character may somehow uh, be there, but it's never really there. It's just to have conversation as we are having conversation right now. You know, just to yeah, that's it's already unreal. It's already not there. Even there as well, the character is the separate self is already not there. So something trying to get rid of the separate self is already not there. There may be a belief, a strong belief that there is a real separate self who's talking to what seems to be another separate self called Kosi. But it's just a belief. It's just a strong belief. It's appearing from nowhere. Even what seems to be an imaginary separate self. It's not that there is another separate self who's imagining that there is a separate self. It's just an imagination arising from this, just this appearing as that imagination. And the belief as well is appearing from this, which is nothing, from nothingness. But the looking, the seeing itself speaks volume. because the seeing says there's nobody here and nothing ever happens. So today, it may seem as if it's Tuesday, but when you look, there's no Tuesday. It may seem as if now it's 8 o'clock or 5 to 9, but that's just imagined. You cannot find 8 o'clock here. You cannot find 2022 here. You cannot find December here. There's no December. There's no one here. There's nothing here. So this is not even this. So what is beyond the realm of thinking. So if the think of thoughts is trying to know what is, it may seem as if it's disappearing because the what is beyond the realm of the mind. It's so simple, even beyond the word simple. It's so the thinker will never find enlightenment. The separate self will never find enlightenment because the separate self is just never there. If something wants to know, then looking may make it clear that there's no one who wants to know. They are just thoughts. A thought that seems to have a memory attached to it. It says, I'm John. I'm a man. I'm a married man. I was born one day. I've been living a good life. I have two parents, my mom and my dad. I live in California, but we grew up in Los Angeles. So that's just a thought that has a memory attached to it. There's nobody there because you can't find the memory. You can't even find the thought. Even what seems to be the finder is already not there. So there's nothing here. That's why at times you may see uh, people apparently laughing, say, I don't exist. So that recognition, it's it brings a lot of laughter because all these years, imaginary years, You've been thinking that you are this character, the character that never existed. So, in the midst of what seems to be that separate self, looking for this, it's already not there. It doesn't collapse because, or it doesn't disappear because it's never even appeared. So the noticing is not for the separate self. It's just noticing. The seeing doesn't belong to a separate self. It's just seeing alone as it is.
Got started late today.
Yeah.
You have to take your aunt to the in 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Running down that highway, very fast. As you look, the center, everything's, rushing by all sides. And you know that you're rushing forward. At the same time that you're rushing forward, you're spinning around the globe of the earth, which is moving fast, which is moving around the sun at an incredible speed. Can perceive all that motion, but your perception is just there, and all you
Yes.
concentrate on that, I'm not moving. There's something that's not moving. There's something that's clearly not moving.
Yes.
It's that something that's
Yes.
clearly not moving. And that something that's clearly not moving is right there being experienced at the same time in South Africa. It's that same thing. Those same things not moving. This one thing not moving.
Yes. And this, which is not moving, is not somewhere. It is nowhere. It's not limited by the by the world or the planets. It's just it's just everywhere and nowhere. Yeah. So rather than focusing on the movement, if it's perceived that there is a movement happening, so rather than focusing on the movement, when the attention is brought back to the perceiving itself, it is seen that there is no perceiver and there's just perceiving. And it's not moving. It's just here. And that here-ness is not a geographical here-ness, it's just here-ness, which is nowhere and everywhere. It's quiet, it's undisturbed. Even when there's a great noise appearing, it's not disturbed at all. It doesn't need, if something is saying, oh, this noise is disturbing me, that's not it. That's just an appearance in it, saying, oh, I wish I could get away from this noise. It's disturbing my peace. But itself is never saying anything. It's not disturbed. It's an undisturbed silence. It's always there, unmoving, having no intention. So it's more solid than what seems to be solid. It's there, deathless, bedless, unmoving, ageless, timeless. Yearless. It's just there, just here. It's your resting place, apparently. It's like the parable of the son that left
Yeah,
the
the prodigal
you
son.
remember the story?
Yes, the
Yes,
prodigal son. Yes.
prodigal son. But in this case, it's just a movement in thought that moves.
The prodigal son was always with the father. Ah, you're frozen. Hmm. There you are. You were gone for a long time. Apparently.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. You froze in a great position. I was going to take a picture of it, but it disappeared. So I can still be on the video. It's awesome.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, I haven't eaten yet, like since breakfast. So I'm going to go eat. Give my love to your aunt, and I'll
Okay.
talk to you next week.
Thanks. Thank you so
Merry
much.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Yep. Okay, say hi to Martha. Oh, do me a favor, text me her address or WhatsApp or put it in the messenger, please.
On your address.
Her
Oh,
address.
okay. I'll
No,
give it to you.
and I'll send upload the video.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. And I'll
So
do just that.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Mhm.